Hey guys, Mrs. Arnold, I'm going to read the passage for your reading lesson today. The reading lesson is titled The Science Project, and it's this Google form right here. Mrs. Thompson stood at the front of the classroom and pulled the last two popsicle sticks from the cup. She read the names she had printed on them. Our last two partners will be Dylan and Rachel. We have 5 minutes before recess. Please meet with your partner and begin to discuss what you might want to do for your science project. Dylan's desk happened to be across the aisle from Rachel, so they slid their desks together and began to talk. Since Dylan had just arrived at the school a few weeks earlier, Rachel explained the project to him. At the end of each science unit, Mrs. Thompson splits us into pairs and has us choose a science experiment from the unit. We have to make a poster about it. We have to list the materials, the procedures, the results, and what we learned. I would like to do the prism experiment, where the light refracted into a rainbow. Is that okay with you? Asked Dylan. Sure, said Rachel. That was cool how the prism bent the light and separated it into the 7 colors of the visible light spectrum. I have one of those trifold poster boards at home. I'll bring it tomorrow. Okay, said Dylan. We could split the board so that one of us does the middle section and the other person does the 2 sides. That sounds good to me. The next day during science, Dylan and Rachel gathered their materials and set to work. They decided to begin by conducting the experiment again so it would be easier to draw it and write about it. As Dylan picked up the marker, he warned Rachel, I'm really good at drawing, but my handwriting is hideous. I'll try my best to make it neat. Rachel clapped her hands in delight. I'm the exact opposite. I love to do fancy lettering and I can write neatly, but I couldn't draw something decent. My life depended upon it. Let's rethink this. How about I do the writing and you do the drawing on the poster board? Sounds good to me, said Dylan. All right, you're going to check fiction or nonfiction on your Google form. And then question 1 is about theme. Which statement describes the central theme? If you're not good at something, don't waste your time doing it. When conducting a science experiment, it is important to understand the scientific reasons why something happens. When working in a group, it is smart to take advantage of each person's strengths. It is not polite to point out another person's weakness. 3, figurative language. Which of the following is a hyperbole? Remember, hyperboles are those over exaggerations. Very like it's over exaggerated. It's not going to happen. Okay. Rachel clapped her hands in delight. My handwriting is hideous. I would like to do the prism experiment, or I couldn't draw something decent if my life depended on it. 3, finding details. Which of these is not required to be listed on the display board? The hypothesis, the procedures, the materials needed to conduct the experiment, or an explanation. What genre? I'm going to help you out with this one. I'm hoping you chose fiction at the top. And for this one, the answer is realistic fiction because it could happen, but most likely it did not. But everything that happened in this story is possible, as where some fiction is impossible, like with talking animals and flying dragons. That's fantasy. But this is a type of fiction that could happen. So we call that realistic fiction. Number 5 is vocabulary. Which word has an affix that means again? Like, let's do that again. Results, rethink, earlier, or procedure. So which of those things are they going to do something again? And context clues. They talked about their hideous drawing and hideous handwriting. Does hideous mean the action of hiding, smart, awful, or neat? And then when you're done, make sure you submit. And remember that you need to make sure you do this in your own Google form, not just following along with me on the video.